when you're trying to get a loan, whether you're trying to get a refinance done on your house or you're buying a new house, the lender must conduct an appraisal on the property. Now, an appraisal is basically a review by a third-party certified appraiser who comes to your house, looks at the house, looks at the comparables, which is basically the similar kind of houses that have sold in the neighborhood in recent past, most likely in the last 3 months, and arrives at the value of the property. Now that's important for the lender to lend on the house because they don't always want to go with what you think or what the seller thinks is the correct value of the house. And for that matter, what some of the online websites think is the value of the house. Now, if you're buying a house and the appraiser thinks that the value of the house is lower than what your contract price is, now you could get into some kind of problems. And in my experience, I've seen that happen sometimes. And my clients are thinking, what are my options if the appraiser thinks the value of the house is lower than what the contract price is? Well, you have 3 basic options when that happens. Number 1, if you're still under the appraisal contingency period, which I'm hoping you are, you can go back to the seller and just cancel the contract. And so there is no obligation between you and the seller anymore for you to move forward with the process. The second thing you can do is you can pay down the entire balance on your own. For example, if you thought or if you went into the contract at $400,000 value and the appraiser came back only at $350,000 and you wanted an 80% loan, the lender will now only lend 80% of the $350,000. So whatever is the balance left, you will have to come up with extra cash to the table. The third option, which seems to work the best, is go back to the seller and renegotiate the price. So even though both of you agreed on a $400,000 price before, now because the appraiser has come back with $350,000, you sit at the negotiating table again. You can have your agent represent you, of course, and see if there is a way to still get the process on. Meaning you can start by asking the seller if they will be willing to bring down the contract price to $350,000, or maybe agree to somewhere midway where you bring in some extra cash and seller is willing to go down on the original contract price. That way it's kind of a win-win for everyone. So those are your options. So if you do get an appraised value which is lower than your contract price, don't think it's over. There's always an option, and there's always a way for you to still make it work and buy that home that you always wanted to.